Today's topic: 5 signs that you are a financial guru, even if you don't know it. That's right, we're going to walk through 5 signs that will tell me that you are a financial guru, even if you don't believe in it yet. But you are. You're absolutely crushing it. And we're going to give you 5 signs that we see quite a bit to show and prove to you that you are that financial guru, that you are financially savvy. And we're going to do it a little bit shorter. We're going to try a little bit shorter clip on this one, see how this one does. So stay tuned. All 5 coming up next. First up, you find interest in personal finance. You found us, and we're not the biggest YouTube channel, so you're already in a deep search if you found us. Good for you. Kudos for you. I'd already say you're a financial guru just because you found us. But why does this stand out? Well, think about it. A lot of people don't care. 49% of Americans actually consider themselves financially illiterate. 59% don't even have $1,000 to cover an emergency. Now, if you're working towards that goal, good for you, right? That's what we're going for here. We're working towards that. But it goes to show you, as Americans, we don't really give a lot of love to personal finance. And we could probably blame the educational system for really not caring either. For my physicians, right? How long have you been in school? How many personal finance courses did you have? Probably not many, likely 0. So just having that interest in personal finance, whether that's YouTube, shout out, whether that's podcasts, whether that is books, you just need to have an interest for it. And if you're here, I'd like to think you're already in the right trajectory. But also, I always like to note, when we meet with new clients in a household, whether that's your spouse, significant other, it's not uncommon to only have one CFO. So whether you're just stumbling upon this because you are the CFO, or maybe the spouse is, significant other is, you need to have at least one. Ideally, we have 2 per household. You're not going to be upset about that. But number one sign that you are crushing it financially is you just have an interest in personal finance. So that's number one. If that's the first box you checked by being here today, boom, you're already on your way. All right. Number 2 I wrote down was sleeping on big purchases. I always, I've noted this in other videos, but this is one that I learned from my mom. I remember as a kid going to the toy store. I believe it was KB Toys. I don't know if KB Toys is still around. But I'd go in there and I'd find something really cool. I used to love wrestling action figures, fun little tidbit. But I would always go pick one out. And then my mom would say, hey, you know what, bud? Why don't we come back tomorrow? If you still want it, then we'll go with it. And it's amazing how many times actually the next day I didn't want to go back, right? The emotions kind of calmed down a little bit. And the next day I didn't want it. Now, maybe a few days later, again, it sparks back up, but I had time to think about it. And we're not talking about the run to Target, right? Because you need diapers and paper towels and life necessities. These are the big purchases, or even the discretionary side of spending. But having a sleep on it, or I'll think about it rule will not only show me you're a financial guru, but likely also help you yield a lot of financial success in the future. So number 2 on the list, sleep on it. The third one I put on here, again, another topic I cover quite a bit, but signs of a financial guru are that you actually track things. You like the budgeting apps, you love the financial planning software, you might be a super Excel nerd. Regardless of how you're tracking it, you're tracking it. The 2 things that I always yell from the rooftops, 2 things I want everyone to track: net worth. Even if it's negative, you got to start somewhere, right? Looking at you, student loans, but having a net worth tracker, knowing that these are your assets, these are your liabilities. This is your net worth, whether negative or positive. Ideally, we're headed towards positive and very positive in the long run. But if you don't know where you are now, how are you going to set those future goals, right? Heck, for a lot of our physicians, we would say celebrate a net worth of 0, right? We're out of debt, usually referring to student loans, and we're on the accumulation phase now. So tracking your net worth. The other one that that I love to track is cash flow, right? Money coming in, money going out. You need to see everything. I think it's very helpful to walk through a pay stub and see, wow, I pay a lot in taxes. Oh, here's my benefits. Oh my gosh, I actually do have disability insurance through my, my employee benefits there, my employer benefits. And then where does it all go, right? So, wow, my net number is this. So I had X amount of dollars hit my bank account. Where the heck did it all go? Right? Knowing that, hey, these are my fixed expenses. We got the mortgage, we got the rent, we got groceries, we got bills. And then we have some discretionary spending. We have our savings buckets. You need to track. Whether you're doing this monthly, maybe some of you do it even more, whether you're doing it quarterly, semi-annual, annual, the further it is apart, at least in terms of budgeting and cash flow tracking, I think that's a little bit harder. Net worth is you're probably safe to do that at a much larger cadence, whether that's semi-annual or annual. Maybe that's your New Year's Eve party every year, and then you go pop some bubbly. Those are very important to be tracking. So that's number 3 on the list. I think that's one of the most important ones, just to not only see where you are today, but where you're going. Number 4, I wrote it as the BS detector, right? You can sniff out from a mile away that phony marketing scam from that suspicious brother-in-law's cousin, uncle of yours, or even social media, right? Social media is famous for this. The amount of times that we have to tell clients, like, hey, remember the TikTok influencer doesn't care if you're audited by the IRS and it doesn't work out, or you didn't get a 20% rate of return in that weird real estate thing, whatever the example would be. You need to have a BS detector. I'd even plug this back into sleep on it, or at least able to do some more research of, hey, let me think about it. That response can go a long way. Let me think about it. But having that BS detector for whether it's a good or bad investment, but just giving yourself enough time to kind of settle down, do some research, take a deep breath. That is a huge, huge skill set trait to establish now, because as you grow, as your income goes up, as your net worth goes up, you will get pitched more and more things. And having that BS detector will serve you very well, I promise. And then last, but certainly not least, is your happy place. And I always, on my notes, I wrote your happy place, and then I put the greater than sign, money, meaning that money is just a tool, right? You need to understand that money is just a tool, and the goal of it is to drive the things that you value the most, right? What do you value the most? What is most important in your life? Is this relationships? Is this time, right? Time is very valuable. I just put, your health, best life. Having money as that tool to support your values is what we're going for here. You should not let money be the main driver, because how often do we see it, whether it's friends, colleagues, crazy stories out there, where when money is the driving factor, it just seems like people maybe aren't as happy or something goes really wrong. And this is when we try to preach to our clients a lot, especially early on in the relationship. It's hard to talk goals. Goals are one thing that they more or less develop over time. Clearly, we want to know about goals, but the value, right? Why is that your goal? There's a deeper value in there. What's the value there, right? I want to retire early. Okay, well, why is that? Is it for travel? Is it because maybe there's a deeper story? Whether it's from what their parents or grandparents did, there's always a deeper value behind a goal, and uncovering those goals, or uncovering the values behind the goals, is really the most important part. So those are 5 signs that you are a financial guru, even if you don't know it. If you're hitting most of these, or you're on track to hit all of them, you're crushing it more than you even know. And again, we wanted to keep this one a little bit shorter, so my goal is to keep it under 10. But those are 5 really good traits that we hope that you have, or you're working to establish. Again, if you found us, I'd like to give you already a star. Well, we're doing sticker charts right now for the boys. So a sticker to find that one. You already took care of that one. So continue to work on those other 4. If you have questions, if you like these 5, if you want to see more in here, drop them in the notes below. If you'd like to see other videos too. Again, the goal is to always build this channel around you and what you want to see more of. So this is one that kind of came up, actually bringing on a new client, and we got into that value-based conversation. But I figured there was a good way to spin this even into a larger content video. So as always, thanks for hanging out with me for the last, call it 10 minutes or so. Again, aiming for a little bit shorter on this one to see how it does. If you like the shorter video, let us know. If you like a little bit longer, usually we aim for 15 minutes, let us know. But as always, thanks for hanging out with me, and I will catch you on the next video.